What's going on? My name's Casey and you're watching Movies That Rule. Today we're going to be talking about the film Hackers from 1995, which stars Angelina Jolie, who was relatively unknown at the time, and Jonny Lee Miller. One of the big reasons why I love this movie is because they show the internet in a way that is really indicative of the fact they have no idea how to show the internet. The film stars Jonny Lee Miller as Zero Cool, and he stars as a guy who crashes 1,507 servers in one day. So he's a bit of a celebrity. He's only 11 years old, and then it follows him just around the time of his 18th birthday. And of course, he's in New York City. In Hackers, the main character that ignites the entire plot, Joey, ends up being a kind of a likable guy. He smokes 2 cigarettes at once, which is kind of funny. He's got his backwards hat, and that whole style is super popular right now. But there's something sort of cute and naive about him. And that cuteness sort of gets him into trouble initially, but then it ends up everything working out in the end. So there is something about it that is very quintessentially 90s, in a way that I think makes me personally feel nostalgic. And another reason why this film rules is because of the soundtrack. So you got some Portishead, you got some Underworld, and it really encapsulates a sort of an underground-ish culture that was happening during that period of time. So you really get a look into what sort of life was like in the mid-1990s. You know, it really was this time where no one knew what the hell was going on when it came to the internet. And there was something really powerful and really awesome about this group of people who really knew what was up, right? So when I watched that film, I wanted to know what was up. I wanted to be part of that community. I watched Hackers in 1995 and all I wanted to do was hack the planet. And there was something punk about it in a way that was quintessentially 90s. Of course, this is bookended by Matthew Lillard's character, so he rules. In general, Matthew Lillard's the best. The way that they conceptualize the internet is hilarious. So they talk about going into a computer and they actually show these towers of information, and they show sort of what you would sort of think about when you're going into it, right? So the way that they shoot is almost like you're on some sort of plane or helicopter or something, sort of flying over all of the information, which of course we know in 2015 does not make sense at all. One of the things I actually love about this movie is the way that they shoot New York City. You get some really beautiful aerial shots, and they're kind of gritty. They're not kind of the same aerial shots you get in your typical Hollywood film. One of the best parts of this movie, though, is kind of the message, right? And the message is that the hackers win. They're the good guys. They're the ones that we're supposed to follow. And I think that idea is really interesting in this day and age. Of course, there's a cyberpunk genre that came out during this period of time, but Hackers stands true. So you watch it, yes, it's kind of funny, yes, it's extremely outdated, but whenever you have a film that talks about technology, no matter what happens, it will always be outdated 20 years later. So when you watch 1984, when you watch Back to the Future 2, no matter what, when there's a film about technology or a film about the future, it's always funny 10, 15, 20 years later. That aside, why Hackers rules is because it's funny, so we have a lot of really quotable lines, Matthew Lillard's character in particular. We also get a sense of the underdog winning. It's got that sort of cyberpunk aesthetic, and even though the graphics are laughable, there's something nostalgic and heartwarming about it. So I'm Casey, Hackers from 1995 rules. Don't forget to subscribe. This, of course, is my first video, so we'll see how it goes. But each week I'm going to hit you up with a movie that rules, and special shout out to my students. Hey guys!